Early summer, Knoxville, 2023. The homeless brothers are not spending too much time inside here these days. Because the nights have turned very, very comfortable and very, very warm here in Tennessee. These are the days, if you're homeless, that you revel in the weather, the temperature, and the location. I'm under the Hill Avenue Bridge here in downtown Knoxville. This is the viaduct, and that is the former home of Cormac McCarthy's Gene Harrogate, the young homeless boy who comes to Knoxville after meeting Suttree in a workhouse outside of town. The view from his squat, his lair, whatever you want to call it, has changed remarkably since 1950s Knoxville time. Down below there where you see interstate and buildings and visitor centers and restaurants and university landings, there used to be nothing here outside of Harrogate's home but hills and dirt. This is where the black shanty town was, where he stole the pig, got caught. Trying to haul it back up the hill to home. His pillbox underneath the bridge. Down below also was First Creek, which for many years ran by here. Well, just about where the interstate is now. It ran past there, and it connected to the Tennessee River. There. But the First Creek created a lot of problems for people within the neighborhoods here in Knoxville. Flooding was a persistent problem, seemingly every year. And so eventually what happened is the creek was put underground. It's still there, but it's now underground. So here from Harrogate's view, you had the creek below where he would take his little kind of improvised boat with the two hoods of the car and travel down the Tennessee to show it off to Suttree and meet with the guys up in Scottish Pike, Goose Creek. The place was recommended to him by Suttree. If you remember in the novel, Harrogate comes back to Knoxville, or he comes to Knoxville looking for Suttree, who he has sort of bonded with after first meeting him at the workhouse outside the city. Harrogate sees him as sort of an older brother, and he looks up to Suttree. So he comes back looking for him along Chapman Highway. And Suttree recommends this place. And from time to time, Suttree will stop by here and look in on the younger homeless brother here out on the streets of Knoxville during the 1950s. Now, if you remember, when Suttree first comes to visit Harrogate, kind of check out the boy, make sure he's doing okay, make sure he's alive. There is a bunch of parking meters down around here that I assume frustrated motorists, aggravated motorists, tired of the new parking, the new travel, the new means of transportation here in Knoxville. We're getting tired of the tickets. We're getting tired of being ticketed. So I assumed what they would do is yank the parking meters from the sidewalks and dump them down here off of the Hill Avenue Bridge here. Suttree sees them, and the first thing he tells young Harrogate is get rid of those parking meters. Because Harrogate, although he doesn't drive, if the cops for some reason would come down here, he'd be blamed for stealing them. And it could cause him a lot of unnecessary troubles here. The last time that Suttree comes down here, at the end of the novel, near the end of the novel, Harrogate has just gone bust with the telephone, the coin-operated paid telephone scheme he worked up. And he said he had the cops after him, the telephone police after him, trying to track him down for stealing their money by stealing the coins out of the phone booth downtown. But Suttree comes for a reason. Throughout the novel, Suttree sees changes in downtown Knoxville. Much of what started out when he was younger is gone, dead, or in hiding, or in jail. And he comes to see Harrogate, which turns out to be for the last time. And he says, "What are your plans? What what where are you going? What do you have next? What's up? What's your next ticket to fame and fortune?" And Harrogate's pretty well beaten down, and he's tired. He's worn out. The entire novel, over 3 years, he has come up with scheme after scheme after scheme to try to win him fame and fortune. But now his spirit and his ideals are gone. And Suttree perhaps knows this, senses this, and says, "All right, well, what are your plans?" And the young boy has none. And once again, Suttree makes the suggestion, again, counsel wisdom from an older brother on the street. He said, why don't you take off from here? Why don't you leave here? Head on out. Light on out. For new grounds, new territories, new communities, new neighborhoods. And Harrogate's response is so very telling of homeless people. So very telling of homeless people. He said, "Where would I go? What would I do?" I don't know anybody. What will become of me? 8 years on the street myself, I have met countless people with that sort of attitude, that sort of, they've been so beaten down, beaten up by the neighbors, the neighborhood, that they lost any vested interest in themselves and their ideals. And their homelessness has become almost a routine. It's become part of the neighborhood. It's become part of, this is who I am. I'm the homeless young man, old man, young woman, old woman. This is who I am. This is what the neighbors know. This is what I know of them. This is who I am. Quite remarkable, And every guy, it was usually the guys that I would talk to about this, why don't you get out of here, Well, where would I go? Where are you going? Oh, what will become of you? Oh, I don't know. Maybe you'll find a nicer bridge to sleep under, At the end of the scene, it's a cold winter night, not a warm winter night like this here in Tennessee, but Suttree invites the young brother back to his boat on the river there. And gives young Harrogate an open door policy with the boat. After offering to put him on a bus, sneak him on a train, it's not much longer that Harrogate gets tired and bored of being tied to a landing down on the Tennessee on a boat that's not his own. Takes off. Last seen headed on a bus to prison. Big time prison. And it's not long after that Suttree, the older brother, acts on what he sees, hears, and learns around him in the many years that he spent on the streets of Knoxville. And he too, by the end of the novel, lights on out for a better place, a better town, a better neighborhood, a better community in which he could live.